blessedness to all and us all. As always, this is beloved Kevin from the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. This is such a lovely day, I would say, and I just want to have like how will I put it now? Okay, just a discussion around the story. Okay, just to bring out something that will further give us this sense of perspective, like about the life that we are. That life is not that serious, in quote, as we take it to be. Life is not a race. Life is not, burdensome. It's not a problem. It's not like survivor, like trying to survive. That's just what this story is all about, I trust. And we're very familiar, for those of us who must have read this in scriptures, but I'm not using this story because it is scriptural, in quote. I just find this story interesting, okay? And again, coming to talk about stories like this, just like I also do from time to time, I can coin out stories, not necessarily that they have happened or something, but from the knowing of life, I will just talk about something. Because in the knowing, these things I talk about, they are real because it's coming from a knowing flow. So like most of these stories Jesus gives, or Jesus gave in scriptures, it is not like they happened actually. It's just coming from the flow of life. Okay, let me use this story to further portray what life is like, just for the benefit of those who are still finding it a little difficult to understand the life that they are, that it is just as easy, as condition-free, as possible. Okay? What I see as a flow or as a state of being as time serves is that life actually, to the mind, is just too organic or too good to be true. And that is what we'll be seeing, as we look at this story, and we'll touch on so many other stuff, okay? So as always, we should feel free, anyone that comes across this, put your comments through, ask your questions if you like, disagree if you like, whatever it is, just have a flow. There's no any conditions whatsoever. It's just us looking at the life that we are, in a thankfulness flow. Yeah, now the story is about a father with two sons. Okay? The elder and the younger. And the father figure there typifies God, which is like the essence, which is like the life. Okay? The father figure in that story is the very father, that is who is called God, which I would look at to be the very essence, the very core, the very beingness, if English permits me, of the very life, or the life itself. Don't mind me. The life itself, okay? Now, just paraphrasing. In the story, it is said that it came a day where the younger brother asked for his inheritance. Okay? Now, usually, it is more like a taboo, right, for someone to request for his or her inheritance while the father is still alive. Sometimes I use the story just to crack some jokes, to say stuff like maybe this boy found out that the father was still looking very young, and it appears like this man is not going to die anytime soon. Just being humorous actually. So let me ask for what is mine, because I can't wait any longer. It's taking too long for this man to die. So let me have it now while he's alive, But that is not actually the case, because this story is speaking about the very life which is eternal, which is endlessness, and also it is not about the boy waiting for the father to die or something, but it's just depicting something about life, about the events in life, about perspectives, about how life is seen based on conditionings and all whatnot. Okay. Now, this boy asked for his inheritance, and the father went like, "Okay, just paraphrasing. Okay, all right, you want that? Fine. Okay, you can have it." Now, this boy was given what he thinks is the very basis of the life, or what he thinks is what life is all about. That is how I look at it. For the boy, this is what defines me. This is what will make me relive, in quote, the life, like with every sense of fulfillment and enjoyment and restfulness and all whatnot. So that is a perspective. That's a conditioning. This is what I see that defines me. So let me have it. But actually, the very life itself is the Father, is the very core, the very Father, is the life, is the resources, is everything. But the boy was having the conditioning, so to speak, of separation consciousness. So the boy wasn't seeing, that's the mind now, belief system, wasn't seeing oneness, wasn't seeing it in that sense of this is life. Okay, the boy is seeing it from a place of separation. Okay, let me have this thing and this is what defines me. And that is actually coming from the fallen sense, which is an illusion of life. The fallen sense of life, according to the account. I don't like using it, but I use it just to pass a message, okay? It is said in the account that when man fell, man became dust. Because it was said that man was referred to as dust. Said, from dust you came, right? And to dust you be what? You say, Adam, you are dust. And dust is like the least of all creatures. So as dust, it's talking about the mindset, the thinking pattern, talking about having that sense of looking up to things as what defines you, because as dust, you are the least. So what defines you in terms of your relevance is seen around things, around what you wear, around what you eat, the kind of car you drive, whether you're a graduate, your portfolio, the kind of friends you keep. These are the things now that defines you. That is the fallen sense. It's a mindset, it's a belief system, it's a fabrication, conditioning. Okay? So this boy was expressing that thinking pattern of seeing things as the basis of life. And he was given those things. You see, the way life is seen, that is how it plays out to you. That's the meaning. The Father is not like a dictator, or life is not a dictator. Life is a freedom flow. any perspective you give to life, though that's not life, then you see life as if it's like that, though an illusion. So the boy saw life like this is how life is, but yet it didn't alter the very essence of life, because life cannot be altered. Life cannot change. Life cannot bend. So this boy saw life in that light, and the boy went away. Now that going away to a far country, as recorded in that story, is not like a physical journey somewhere. It's not like going somewhere, like traveling to a place or something. It's all in the mind. It's all a thinking thing. Traveling far. Okay? And going about life in that sense of seeing things as what defines me, as what satisfies me, achievements and all whatnot. And according to the story, this boy spent all, because things in themselves don't satisfy, because things in themselves look up to life, they are of life. So without that knowing sense of life, things crash, because actually there is nothing that is anything by itself. We are the definition of things. When we depend on things, it reveals the frailty of things. Deep within, there is that inadequacy, there is that emptiness, because these things cry, say, it is in you we find satisfaction. It is not the other way around. This sense of depending on us, that's things speaking, is not true, it's a lie. We are of you. You are the one that defines us. And according to the story, everything, God wasted. There was nothing again. And the life, as the boy saw it, according to this perspective, that it was reduced to a level where he was feeding with the pigs. All were perspectives. That level of degrade, how do I put it, being degraded, but actually just the perception of seeing things as that which defines life already is an illusion, is a fallenness, which is a lie. Now look at what played out. And the boy said again in his mind, this is what plays out with folks. Oh, I've fumbled. Oh, I've wronged God. I know God is mad at me. God might not even want to look at me. And that kind of expression is ego-driven. It's pride. But some will think, wow, that's humility, that's been broken. No. It's coming from a sense of separation still, because with the very consciousness state of oneness, there's nothing like that. It is all a flow. It is all seamlessness. But because of the separation sense, there is this kind of expression. My father will be mad at me. He would not even want to look at me. I've fumbled. I've done this. I've done that. And the boy said something like, I can't even be a son again. Being a servant is enough for me. I will go back, but I'll plead. That is, even if he's going to take that, I'm not sure he will even accept me as a servant. This is how the picture, because of the separation consciousness. But I'm only even going because I'm suffering. If not, the going is not because I want to go, it's because I'm suffering. So the whole idea, the whole mindset was still not accurate. This is where humanity is. Okay? That sense of separation is what defines the struggle, the veil, the atmosphere of pain and suffering. It's not from anywhere. It's not from anything. It's just that mindset. Just a thin line Okay? And when this boy came back, according to the story, he had his rehearsed confession to make. And that confession was interrupted. And the boy, I understand, will be like, what's happening to me? Is this a dream or something? And the father was like, hey, I'm happy. My son is back. He was lost and now he is found. In other words, there was never anything like the boy offended the father. There is no offense in life. There's no offense. There's nothing like you offended God. No! You can't offend God. You can't offend love. You can't offend oneness. Because there is no separation. There is nothing like a breakaway. It's an illusion. It's a thinking pattern. It never happened. It's not possible. It is the only impossibility. All the Father is over the boy is compassionate flow of love. But there's no forcefulness that comes from life, from source. There has to be a personal willing realization of this state of being, which is all harmoniousness. You don't force it. When the boy came back broken, Father said, take him in. Let's throw a party. My son is back home. Back home, not back home as per a physical, geographical place. The home is within. Gloriousness. It's a within transaction, like I always say. It's a within flow. And this boy, I know, will be like, oh my goodness, I'm humbled. In all speechlessness, the boy will just be like, still. That's where that saying comes. Be still and know the oneness flow of life. That's where Paul said, I was caught up to this realm where I saw things unspeakable. The boy was in that place of unspeakable experience. Unspeakable, benevolent, affectionate flow of life. He was drowned in the buoyancy of life. And of course, there's a knowing that everything is in life and as life. There is no anywhere. The where is life. The resources is in life and as life. Home is oneness. That's hope. That's hope. That's freedom. It is not any geographical place. It is within. It is within that seamlessness flow. And now look at the response. Very important from the other brother. Offense. That was what came from the brother. Daddy, why would you do that? Just like today, you see practically taking place. I have been faithful in the house, Daddy. I work tirelessly, Daddy. And not even a goat was given to me by you to have like a party with my friends. And the father went like, oh my boy, you don't work so that I give you something. You don't earn anything. You don't earn anything like by working. You don't get approved. You don't get liked the more because you have done something. No. The doing, as you call it, boy, is the flow of life. It's just like me mopping my house. I'm not doing it to get paid. It's my house. It's a family affair. It's a flow of life. And the father told him, boy, all things are yours organically. For being my son in oneness flow, all things are yours by that standing. But look at ego. Ego says, no, I don't want it that way. If it is like that, there won't be any difference between me and my younger brother. At least rate me by what I do, so that there will be that difference. There will be that sense of I'm better. But if it is just like that, then what is the meaning of life? You know, that's how people look at life. If life is this way, then it doesn't make sense. People, that's the mind. It doesn't make sense. There should be that sense of, I prayed very well. I fasted. I studied the Bible, the Word of God. You know, I give alms. Or I tithe. What we call tithing. That is why God gives me something. That's a dysfunctional, beyond words. Dysfunctional, highly dysfunctional sense of being. And that's coming from that illusion called the fall. It is said that you will toil, you will struggle, you will sweat. That's the mindset. Ego, hustling. I made it, I did it. You know, like when you're lied to, that you have to tithe to service your provision, or to service how much comes to you. What a dysfunctionality it is. What a distorted sense of understanding. In the first place, let's look at this. What did you give to be? What did you give to be? What did you do to be? Did you become? Can you figure out how you became? From where? What contribution did you give to be? Where did you start from? If you cannot figure out that, of which definitely it's unimaginable, it can't be figured out. That is why life is beyond the realm of thinking and imagination. Life is beyond the realm of belief. It's a knowing flow. Beginninglessness. There is no beginning. There is no anything to say, I did something to be. And that is the pattern of life. So I am not doing anything to gain favor, to attract anything from God, or to become more likable or something. There is nothing like that. I am all that God or source, as it is called, or life. I'm all that life is. And all that I do is a flow from that standing of fullness, completeness, and perfection. It's a flow from there. It's not a doing to achieve, a doing to become. No, it's a flow evolvingly. It's a flow evolvingly. And this was actually what the father told the elder brother. And according to the story, brother said, no, daddy, this is too good to be true. Life can't be like this. Life can't be like this. This is not life, daddy. I don't buy into this flow. If I buy into this flow, I will lose my sense of respect and ego. What I've built, I will lose it. I've built a sense of value. I will lose it. I will lose it, daddy. And that was why Christ said, unless you lose your life, you won't find it. If you save this life, you will lose the main life, which is freedom flow. And the father came out and asked the boy, come in to the party. The party typifies that realm, that awareness state, okay? The party typifies that place of knowing, okay? That place of the actual sense of life, But the boy said, no, Daddy, I won't enter. He refused to enter. He said, I will not enter. Daddy, I won't enter. It was said that, and he could not enter. like the Pharisees. It was said that they have lost the key of knowledge, right?
Yes.
And what happened? That they have refused to what? To enter. And what? And they are stopping others from what? From entering. That's what you see in what is called church. Bless their hearts, all the so-called overseers and papas and mamas, prophetesses, apostles, bishops, popes, and reverends. Bless your hearts. I love you. It's all about you. That is where they stand. They have lost the key of knowledge. So, because they have not entered or embraced that sense of the actual flow of life, no one under them will enter. Because what they are transacting and dispensing is exactly that which they are experiencing. It's a closed door ministry. So when you hear the Lord is good, it's all to close your mind. Because we also are not entering, so we must not enter. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You see, the boy refused to enter because I will lose my respect. The life will become normal. There'll be no bragging. You know, what will I brag about? Just like that. You mean all the work I've been doing all this while? You mean all the prayer? That's what, when somebody looks at another person, like, I know I pray more than this guy, but he claims he's happy. He can't be as happy as me. Do you know the way I pray? Do you know the way I fast? Look at him. You know. Okay, look at that story again that will make you laugh. Beautiful story again, another story. Okay? This man has a farmland, right? Paraphrasing quickly. And he called on some guys to come work, and the guys bargained, right? You bargained. It's okay, this is what you pay me. The guy said, no problem, let's keep working. And much later, he found some guys just idle. And he said, hey guys, there's work here for you. And the guys were like, oh wow. They were so excited. They didn't bargain. Their excitement is that they have found something engaging. That is like finding the life within the oneness flow. There's no bargaining in that realm of life. There's no bargaining. And they were just in the flow. And after all, the guys that bargained, right? They were given exactly what they asked for. Right? And same was given to these other guys. And they were like, sir, why would you give these guys what you gave us? And the owner of them said, but I gave you what you asked for. I didn't take anything from it. Exactly what you asked for. They said yes. But our issue is not what you gave us. Our issue is, how will these guys have not done as much as we have done receive as much as we are as much as we are receiving? That's not fair. Yes, life is not fair. Oh my goodness. Life is not fair. Life is not fair. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's nothing like sowing seed. Okay? Please don't be deceived. I know where these guys get their scriptures that they used to deceive these guys about seed. They will mainly quote that scripture where it was said that Isaac sowed in a land where there was famine and that he reaped 100-fold. And they will say it's a revelation they are bringing from the scripture. That they are bringing a deep revelation. They will not say that seed is your finances. They will just do it. They will say, if you sow a dangerous seed. Even when it looks like things are hard, you will reap 100-fold. And the guys, actually they hear us. That is what they like hearing. Don't blame the so-called pastors. They have itching ears. People like that kind of environment. You know, it gives this sense of competition, like you're racing. You know, it gives this sense of I want to be seen. You know, I want to do something that, you know, it romances and massages the ego. Do you understand? Without that, it's like there's nothing else. Just like the story about the pool of Bethesda, right? Where people, we get to jump in after angels, you know, must have stirred the water. And I find that event too very, very, very funny when I was looking at it. Do you know that when, or if the water gets stirred, let's say I and you get to jump into the water. If you get to jump first, before me, like, I will come out without being hit. I don't know what they use to measure the time. You know, then I will come out just wet, and you go like, I did it, I made it. I was first, I was very smart, I was very fast. There's some guys who will come and stand again. Okay, let's wait again. It's all about ego. That picture, that story is all about ego too. But look at effortlessness was revealed there when a man was lying helpless, right? And life was revealed to him. Hey, would you want to be made whole? But the man was already conditioned about effort, about doing. The man said, I don't have a helper. And life is said, no, you don't need helper. Do you want to be made whole? I said, okay, just walk. There's nothing to do. Just walk. Oh my goodness. That is life. That is life. The environment, they want to create the system called education, the system called hospital, the system called church, religion, is all to reveal competition. It's not for you. It's just to feed what the system is all about. It is your belief in these systems that makes them to thrive. Call it politics. I will speak more on these things in different Facebook Live, okay? This is bless your lovely heart. I don't just love you, okay? I'm one with you. And what we are interacting about here is not just happening here or on Facebook Live. It's a transmission within all. You are also a transmission within all. You are a portal and you are life. So it's a global transaction, both for those who are visibly seen and who are not visibly seen. All faiths are in seamlessness, interaction, and communication. Bless your lovely hearts. Take charge.